How do you push yourself to take action and actually chase your goals? People ask, I have dreams, I have desires, I even make plans. Then why can't I push myself when the moment comes? Every time the moment comes to do something big, your mind starts making excuses. Are we actually afraid of hard work? Or is there some force inside stopping us? We're scared of uncertainty. We're scared that if we try, we might fail. We might not get the results we hoped for. And that fear stops everyone. Most people think motivation is some magic spark you wake up with. Truth is the opposite. When you start doing something, your brain slowly starts to organize itself in that direction. But when you just sit there thinking, your mind builds a maze where every turn is filled with doubt. Napoleon Hill said, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." Starting is the first step toward greatness, but most people just sit in front of that first step and wonder, when will I feel confident? When will the right time come? But have you ever noticed, the right time never comes. Time is scared of you until you take that first step yourself. Your mind isn't your enemy. It's just addicted to comfort. It wants what feels easy. So when you think of doing something difficult, waking up early, staying disciplined, your mind says, relax, let's do it tomorrow. Napoleon Hill discovered in his research that before every great achievement, a person has to fight themselves. That battle isn't with others, it's with the laziness, doubt, and fear inside you. And whoever wins that battle changes the direction of their life. Now, the question isn't, what should you do? The question is, how do you put yourself in a position where doing it becomes a necessity? Because as long as work is optional, your mind will make excuses. But when that same work becomes a necessity, people make the impossible possible. Look at history. Everyone who reached their goals didn't create comfortable conditions for themselves. They put themselves in a situation where there was no way back. When Alexander set out to conquer Persia, he burned his ships. He said, "We either return victorious or end here." That one decision changed his entire army's morale, because now retreat wasn't possible. Only one path remained: forward. You have to burn some mental ships in your life too. Cut off every path that leads to procrastination. As long as you have a plan B to retreat to comfort, your mind will run there. Think about it. How many times have you started something and quit within days because you felt like maybe it wasn't the right time? But did that right time ever come? No, it always stayed coming soon. The truth is, no one's coming to push you into action. Not a guru, not a book, not a miracle. You have to lift yourself up, and that's real self-discipline. When you don't take orders from your mind, you give orders to it. Napoleon Hill once wrote, "The man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does." When you work without counting, the universe opens paths for you. But for that, you need to put yourself in action mode every single day, whether your mind is ready or not. You need to ask yourself every morning, did I take one step closer to my goal today? If the answer is no, be honest. Why not? Why did you delay? Was it a real obstacle, or was it inner weakness? You can't defeat your excuses until you identify them. You want to know how to train your mind to be ready for action every morning? Because that's the real struggle. The body wakes up, but the mind hits the snooze button. It says, just a little more rest. And that little more becomes the biggest delay of our lives. Napoleon Hill said that every day your mind hears two voices. One says wait, the other says go. The winner is the one who listens to the second voice longer. Your mind needs a new command every morning. That command doesn't come from the outside world, It comes from you. If you leave your mind on autopilot, it defaults to old patterns. It goes back to where it's comfortable, where there is no accountability. Notice something? When a huge deadline is coming or a crisis hits, suddenly our brain activates. We do things we thought were impossible. Why? Because the need became bigger than the feeling. The voice that says, "I can't," goes silent. Successful people create artificial necessity. They put themselves in environments where they have to perform. Here's a small example. A guy swore he'd wake up at 5 a.m. to write, but he kept hitting snooze. So he told his friend, "If I don't wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow, I will give you $20. The next morning, he was up at 5 a.m. sharp. Why? Because now there were stakes. The cost of comfort was too high. That is human nature. We don't move until we know the penalty for stopping. If you want to force action, attach a consequence to it. Write it down. If I don't do this, here is the loss I will take. Your brain fears pain more than it desires pleasure. Use that. Napoleon Hill wrote that the mind is like a garden. If you don't give it a purpose, it grows weeds. If you don't give it work, it fills up with confusion and fear. Give your mind a job the moment you wake up. A small target, something achievable, measurable, and meaningful. Because when the brain sees a small win, it releases dopamine, that chemical that makes you feel good. If you stack small wins every day, your brain gets addicted to that feeling of progress. But be careful. If you keep procrastinating, your brain gets addicted to the relief of avoiding work. It says, "I didn't do it today and I'm fine." That relief becomes your habit. You have to flip the script. Napoleon Hill called this auto-suggestion. It's feeding your subconscious the same message over and over until it becomes a belief. If you tell yourself every morning, "I am ready for my goal, I am moving forward," eventually your subconscious accepts it as truth. Stop looking for motivation from others. Others can show you the map, but you have to drive the car. Consistency isn't a personality trait, it's a mindset. It's understanding that falling down is part of the process. Napoleon Hill said, "A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits." Imagine a seed buried in the dirt. It doesn't know when it's going to break the surface. It just keeps pushing. If it gave up, it would never become a tree. That is your story. You are working in the dark, with no applause, no praise. But one day, that work turns into light. Don't quit now. Napoleon Hill said, "Most people quit just 3 feet from gold." You might be just a few steps away from your breakthrough. Let's have a conclusion. The biggest victory in life begins the day you realize no one is coming to rescue you. That power is already inside you. It's just sleeping. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Within every man lies a sleeping giant. Awaken him, and you will discover the power to change your world." Action is the language the universe understands. What you do is your true prayer. So, here is the summary. Pick a direction. Commit to it with 0 escape routes. Commitment creates clarity, and clarity kills fear. Napoleon Hill had a phrase, "Do it now." 3 words, but if you live by them, your life changes. Stop thinking, start doing. Stop fearing, start moving. Right now, after this video ends, take 5 minutes of silence. Ask yourself, what am I putting off? What step do I need to take? And decide to do it. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Your only limit is the one you set in your own mind. Wake up, get to work, and give your mind the order, "I am not stopping." Because real inspiration isn't what you hear, it's what you do. Force yourself to take action. And don't forget to subscribe to be in Journey to be Successful. See you in another video.